Haley, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, Mom, I'm fine. My hematologist says I'm fine because I'm a B positive.
Oh yeah? Do you like your new doctor?
Not really. They're a pediatrician, so they get very little patience.
Haley, I don't really find these health puns very funny ever since I was diagnosed with an irony deficiency.
Oh, Mom, you always have me in stitches.
Your patient is waiting, and the other doctors aren't sure of your surgical skill. In Doctor Doctor, you must prove to them that you do in fact have the steadiest hands in the operating room by completing more procedures than your competitors in this fast-paced, nerve-fraying dexterity game of concentration and operation. The game comes with 6 blood pressure cubes, the tweezers, and the operating table with 60 procedure cards and 1 patient, as well as the sand timer. To set up the game, you'll take out the insert, flip it upside down to form the operating table, and then shuffle the procedure cards and deal 3 face up to form the procedure row. Then place the remainder of the deck face down on the operating table and spin and shift the deck into a messy but stable stack. Finally, place the patient card on top of the deck to form the patient's body. The player who most recently visited a doctor's office takes the first turn. At the start of each turn, the player chooses a procedure from the procedure row and attempts it as an operation. Then they'll stack the number of blood pressure cubes indicated on the card on top of the patient. Then the player can take as much time as they would like to inspect the patient's body. The player is allowed to touch the operating table and the table however they like, but they are not allowed to touch the patient's body until the timer starts. Once they are ready, they flip over the sand timer to indicate the start of the operation. Then the player must attempt to remove the card shown on their chosen procedure from the patient's body using only these handy tweezers. If the player manages to succeed, then they have successfully removed all of the cards identified on their chosen procedure. However, their operation can fail in a number of ways. The timer can run out before they finish, the blood pressure cube stack could fall off, the patient's body could fall off of the operating table, the player could accidentally touch the patient's body with anything other than the tweezers, they could accidentally touch the blood pressure cubes, they could accidentally remove more vital body cards from the patient's body than are identified on the chosen procedure, and they could even accidentally remove a card from the patient's body not identified on the procedure card. There are a lot of ways that surgery could go wrong. If they were successful, they keep their chosen procedure card and they'll score the total victory points shown on these cards after they're completed. Any cards removed from the patient's body are added to the procedure row. If the player failed their operation, then they put their procedure back into the procedure row, and any cards removed from the patient's body are then added to the procedure row, and the turn moves clockwise. If an operation failed because the body fell off of the operating table, then the patient's body might need to be reset. In this case, reset the deck as if you did at the start of the game. If you have more than 8 total procedures available, then also do this. The game ends after any one player has successfully completed operations adding up to a total of 12 or more points. And that's how you play Doctor Doctor. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And tell us below what your favorite vital organ is. Be bold, play games, be you. Happy gaming!
What's your favorite vital organ?
The heart, because I love you so much.
Oh, I was gonna say kidneys.